grind continues. We're back for our possible third and final match of the night. That's right, I said possible. Unfortunately, we've got difficulties all over, actually. First of all, I'd like to apologize. We had some streamer difficulties, technical difficulties, so we had to take an extra 2 minutes to get things sorted out and set up. But also, we are looking at a possible forfeit from the Hellcats. Assuming that we are able to get into this, we're going to be in the Challenger League. Ascension with a 7-2 record versus the Hellcats with a 6-3 record. And if they're able, I think they're having Hellcats having a problem finding one player. If they're able to find somebody, then we can get this match rolling. However, they only have about 5 minutes according to Nemesis Gaming League regulations. They have another 5 minutes now to field 3 players, or they have to walk away with the forfeit loss. However, excuse me, if we are able to get into this, your boy Psychonautic is going to be right here in the booth to give you some of that play-by-play action. And if it happens, I'm joined by a very special guest tonight, somebody who's been absent for a little while, but he's an absolute OG and legend here in the booth and in Nemesis Gaming League, coming off of a fresh sweep against the Reapers. You just saw it. Fishy, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing great. I really appreciate it, Psycho. It's great to be here. Fingers crossed that we get this match underway. I was actually looking forward to this game here because this Hellcats and Ascension roster, they've been doing pretty good this season, both sitting in the playoff spots, but this could also mean a lot for both of these two teams as they go into the back half of the season.
I agree, and I'm sure Ascension's sitting there, not that they don't want to play, but oh, hey, take an easy dub. We'll go ahead and take an easy dub and get us that much closer to the first seed.
Yeah, and this win would mean a lot for Ascension, try and pull them away from the rest of the teams in their division. Of course, with the divisions and Challenger being so close, and it looks like we do have a game, actually.
We do have a game. Holy. All right, well, a miracle indeed. Well, hey, let me go over the rosters real quick. We're gonna get straight into the action. Oh, we've got maybe a couple of sub-ups on the Hellcats. I see Micro and then Glaze, which I believe is a prospect player, and Norf, which is also a prospect player. And then on Ascension, we've got merely Rockerman and Jaegers, the regular trio there. And based on what you know about these teams, Fishy, or what you know about some of the players you're seeing on the field here, let me get a quick prediction from you. Who do you think's got the upper hand? Who do you think's going to walk away with the W here tonight?
Oh, I feel like this Hellcats roster, they can't be overlooked. Although they have 2 prospect sub-ups right now, North and Glaze are not to be overlooked. So I see them pulling it close, but this Ascension team is something else. I'll give it to them in 5.
All right, you heard it here first. Yeah, well, I think if we can see Micro step up and put the team on his back and really just put in the effort and the work, I think we can see a pretty good match-off here against Ascension, because I know for a fact that Glaze is one of the better prospects, and North is solid as well, but Rockerman doesn't care. I just realized Rockerman's in the Ford F-150. He's about to shut things down.
He's taking no prisoners there. Full commit on the attack from Ascension, knowing that Glaze was last in net, and they're able to just bully it through him.
And they're going to take the lead with just about a minute gone from the clock. Ascension, number 1, but the double comes out from Jaegers and Merely. Glaze going to take his time, try and get, and on top of his car to get the flick, but it does get bounced off. North is there. North trying to get it cleared through. Glaze going to help him out, get it to the midfield. Micro's there, trying to put a pot shot on, but it's wide of the net. Rockerman gets it past 1 in the midfield. Micro back on his own backboard, gets the second touch, gets a third, trying to follow, can't find the fourth, but he does get it around Merely. Jaegers is there on the backboard. Almost down to 3 minutes on the clock here now, Fishy, and Ascension up by 1. But it looks like Hellcats are just starting to warm up. Oh my, as I say it, Micro popping off, putting it perfectly placed in the top right corner.
Yeah, Micro's been trying to do everything, and it looks like a bit of a doink there. An own goal from Ascension. But Micro, he's been making it happen on the offense despite his circumstances.
Most definitely. I did not even see that little touch there off of the Ascension defender. Quite unfortunate. I thought that he just like went ham on it, but hey, it works out. And Micro gonna take those Jaegers with a big clear, but North is back, gets the touch. Jaegers keep it alive. Merely's there, but can't get it through Glaze on the goal line. Jaeger's sticking with it, but Jaeger's gonna run it into Micro. It gets pinched. Rockerman there with the shot that's gonna go high. Micro putting it into his own corner, gets it past Jaegers. It pinches down to Glaze, but Rockerman with the touch, keeping the pressure for Ascension. Jaegers pops it up. Nobody back from Hellcats to make the stop.
And this is just so heavy pressure from Ascension. You see them going for ball after ball, and they're not even placing it around the defenders. They're just pushing it straight through them, getting some demos, stealing the boost, and just wearing this Hellcats roster out.
2 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. Ascension now up by 1 in game number 1 of this best of 5 series. Merely pops it up off the ceiling. North missing his touch. Jaegers with the shot to get it past Glaze. And now Ascension gonna extend their lead by 2.
And that's unfortunate from North. Just when you thought Ascension was coming in hot, they just pop it up and just wait under it like you see Merely do there. Seems like Ascension has this one under control, but still plenty of time left for Micro to pop off again like we've seen.
Plenty of time indeed. And also, I'm kind of thinking maybe hopefully Glaze will pop off here too. Not that North doesn't... Sure. Right. Not that North doesn't have the pop-off potential, but North is kind of more, from what I've seen anyways in the time that I've played with him, he's more of a, less of a flashy player and more of a just a fundamental player. He wants to be in the right position, getting the touches he needs to get. So hopefully, maybe in the next game, it's not working out so far as Rockerman going to slot one from the midfield. Ascension now up 4-1.
I don't know if they called that pinch or not, but that completely fooled the Hellcats defense. Rockerman and Jaegers coming together in the midfield. You're not stopping that.
The teamwork will make the dream work, as they say. Ascension showing off a little bit here with their teamwork. Jaegers down to Rockerman off the crossbar, looking for Merely, but he's not going to go. He's going to let Blaze hit it and then block him in the midfield. Rockerman with the touch is going to beat out the defender. Merely up for it. Rockerman trying to get it through, but Glaze making the stop on the goal line. Down to Micro, who's going to try and get it through, but Jaegers takes it away from him. Rockerman with the dunk to put it on the net. Micro gets back and makes the stop. A minute left now on the clock. Ascension up by 4. Rockerman making it up by 4, now 5-1.
And this Hellcats team, they're stringing together some good saves there. It's just unfortunate. It looks like Ascension is just a little bit faster right now. We'll see if they can pick it back up at the end of this game and into game 2.
Yeah, and I know if you're the Hellcats, you're probably wanting to try and at least get one more on the board. They need a little bit of momentum. Rockerman there for the shot's going to go wide. Jaegers to keep it in. Jaegers off of the ceiling, going for the fake, but Micro going to get the touch on it. North missing his touch out of the corner. Glaze is up, puts it towards the mid. Jaegers is there, but North with the big bang puts it all the way back to Ascension's defensive zone. And Rockerman bangs it back as well. 30 seconds left. Ascension looking to just essentially run down the clock at this point. They have such a massive lead. I would say it's near impossible for Hellcats to make a comeback here in game number 1. Merely with the pop-up, Jaegers to send it out. 10 seconds left now before they are able to close out game number 1 in this best of 5 series. They're going to take the lead moving into game number 2. Ascension is all but your winners at this point. And Fishy, I got to say, they're looking hot. They're looking hot. Hellcats are going to have to make some major changes moving into game number 2 if they're going to want to be able to compete against this Ascension roster.
Ascension are looking real hot, and I gotta say their pressure has just been outstanding against this Hellcats team. Just looking at the shots, it's 16-2 for Hellcats, and one of those shots was an own goal even, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what much Hellcats can do, but it might be a long road ahead here. I gotta say, Psycho.
Yeah, it might be, or a short swept road ahead for the Hellcats. We'll have to see. But Rocker Man pulling out 8 of those 16 shots with the F-150. He is an absolute menace right now against the Hellcats. Got to give props to him. Love him or hate him, he's going off.
He has been popping off this series. I have to give him credit.
And we'll see if he's able to keep doing that here in game number 2, or if the Hellcats are going to be able to adapt to their situation. Micro up for that save. Rockerman putting a soft one on net. North with the clear. North still in it in the midfield. Rockerman popping it up. Micro came in but couldn't beat out the defender. Glaze staying back, playing defensive. Glaze with the pop. Not going to be able to follow this one as Rockerman going to hit it in the midfield. Jaeger's going to have to 50 through North. He does get it through, but Micro there to pop it up away from his net. And Micro with a touch. Micro to get it past 2 of the defenders. Gets it past 3 of the defenders. Going to waterfall down. And Merely and Rockerman with the double, but it's going to work out. Pinch the ball away from their net. Merely with a big clear. Sending it across the field. Trying to follow it. North going to beat him out. Jaegers and Rockerman a little bit awkward on the defensive side of things. Micro down to North, but it's not going to go. A minute gone now so far. Fishy. And we got a 0-0 scoreline here. I would say, you know, Hellcats, not necessarily that they're looking better, but they have held Ascension to not very much offense so far.
Yeah, Hellcats is still playing their game and taking the space that they've been given now by this Ascension roster. You're already looking at a bunch of passes being strung together, and it looks pretty even in this game too, I must say, Psycho.
It does look especially a lot more even than it did in game number 1. But will the Hellcats be able to hold out, or is it just a matter of time before Ascension breaks through their defense and starts to snowball things? Rockerman with the shot on net, but Glaze stops in time to get in front of it. North trying to follow, gets the bump on the defender. Micro with an awkward touch, but it might work out for him. Back to Glaze. Glaze putting it into the corner, merely to the mid. Jaegers finds it, but his shot gonna go wide. Micro flipping over the ball, missing his touch. Glaze trying to get in front of Rockerman defensively. Micro with a huge demo on Jaegers, freeing up the defensive zone. Merely can't find the double touch as we near the halfway point in game number 2 here. Fishy still sitting at 0-0, but I don't know. Ascension has definitely picked it up a little bit as far as their offensive pressure, but the Hellcats are still holding out really well defensively. Micro gonna open things up with the first goal and take the lead for the Hellcats.
And once again, it's just Micro making something happen. He threw that ball at net, not expecting it to go in, but knowing that he could get Jaeger's follow-up. And it seems like that might give Hellcats the edge to bounce back in this series, if Micro can keep on doing that.
May very well, as Micro's going to put another one on net, but merely to get in front of it. Merely trying to get in front of North. Shot North to put it down. Rockerman Jaeger's going to double in the net, but nobody from Hellcats there fast enough to take advantage of the situation as the ball trying to get cleared out by Ascension. Finally does. Jaegers misses the touch, but it doesn't. Oh, he got a touch.
Oh, he did. I thought he missed too. But that's just unfortunate. You see North going up to that mid boost, thinking that they finally had some consistent pressure, but that was a good clear from Rockerman, just over Glaze's head where he couldn't reach it.
Just pushed up a little bit too far there for the Hellcats, and honestly, Fishy, I'm still... How did Jaegers get a touch right there?
I don't even know. It went through his car, I'm pretty sure.
It was a ghost touch that they gave him credit for. Hats off to the Rocket League gods for giving my man Jaeger some love there. He was able to get it through, tie up the game. 1 minute and 35 seconds left on the clock as Merely is going to slam through a double touch.
I thought Glaze had that save there. He looked to be in the perfect position, but just a little bit too far back in the net. But man, this Ascension lineup, just as soon as we thought they were out of it, they bounced back with 2 goals right away to get a hold back on the series.
Yeah, I'll tell you, you can't give Merely that kind of space. Merely is came down from the rival league as our boundaries went so wide here in season number 7. But so it brought a lot of people down, and he was one that came from rival, as you well know, Fishy. And you just can't. He's still good. He's still pretty much a rival level player. You can't give him that much space and expect him to miss something as simple as a double touch.
Oh, so you went for one again there. But the beauty of this Ascension team is you can't give Merely space, but you can't give Rockerman or Jaegers any space either. They're both very good players to their own right. So it's just which player do you want to deal with a shot from?
That's 100% true. And Rockerman coming through, muscling it past the defense, taking the lead 3-1 now in favor of Ascension.
Yeah, and Hellcats just getting a bit stuck in their defense in this past 2 minutes or so. I'd really like to see them get those passes out of the back. That saw them get their pressure of their own and get the big clears out. And we saw at the start of this game.
And with 45 seconds left on the clock now, is Hellcats going to be able to come back? Jaeger's going to rub some salt in the wound as he gets the 4th goal for Ascension. And the snowballing started a little bit later this time, Fishy, but still snowballing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the same goal as the third one. It's just high in the right corner, and there's no one who can do anything for Hellcats there. Ascension, they're just putting it where they can't go, and I don't know, it's just dominating right now.
It is definitely given the Hellcats the business. 30 seconds left on the clock, and Jaegers coming through, finding a beautiful pass from Merely. Wow.
It's just that back left corner for Hellcats, I swear. That's been the past 3 goals for them. Maybe they just need to put a guy right back there to block everything.
Maybe they should. Maybe moving into game number 3. One of them's listening to the stream, and oh my goodness, Jaegers gonna go. He doesn't get the top left, but he gets the left. You called it, Fishy. That left side, they're unstoppable.
And they're just pushing for the Brazil at this point. I mean, they have the game under wraps, but they know they want to send the message heading into game 3. They're not going to let them score first again.
100% putting the fear of God in the Hellcats. Glaze, not ready to give up yet. Gets a flip reset, goes for a fake, gets the fake, but can't get it through Jaegers. Jaegers with a huge save. Well, maybe not a huge save because it wouldn't have much mattered. I don't think that would have turned the tides of the battle here, as we're in the final seconds now. But, hey, it was a good save from Jaegers right there.
Yeah, good attempt from Glaze, too. I didn't know he had that in him with the flip reset off the wall. I was ready for a huge goal right there, Psycho.
Yeah, that looked like it was going to be something of beauty. And Ascension, wow, 6-1, putting another 15 shots on the board. That's a lot of pressure, and it's divvied up equally this time, but still they did 18, or what was it, 16 and then 15. This Ascension roster looks unstoppable at this point.
And I think what's even crazier about that is that Ascension weren't their normal selves in the first half of this game. You saw them stuck on their defensive end for a little bit, and even giving up the first goal of this one, but even then, they're able to put up 15 shots and keep on putting on the pressure on this Hellcats roster.
Yeah, and another thing that you pointed out, just looking at the scoreboard, was that it doesn't matter which player we're talking about from Ascension. They're all equally got high pop-off potential, and they're especially in this series, they're all playing really strong. We saw the first series, Rockerman with like 600-something points, 700 points. Jaegers this time, 712 points. I'm expecting Merely to just have a 700-800 point game and just completely shut the Hellcats down right now.
Yeah, maybe it's Merely's turn for a pop-off game. It looks like we have a player change here coming out from Hellcats. We got the Mitso 20 coming in for North. See how that pans out for him.
Yeah, I can't remember. I think Mitso is another prospect player from the Warhawks. So maybe North just wasn't feeling it, or maybe he was having some internet issues or something. But he's going to put Mitso in, and we're going to see how that plays out for the Hellcats here in game number 3. Ascension looking for the clean sweep, and Hellcats have a long road of a reverse sweep ahead of them if they want to walk away with the dub from this series. Mitso gets back in time to make the stop, leaving it for Glaze. Merely going to take it off the top of Glaze, merely to follow, but he hits it just a little bit too hard. It's going to go high. Nobody from Ascension able to stick with that ball. Rockerman trying to get back to it in the midfield. Mitso to put one on net. Jaegers is back, makes an easy save. Jaegers sending it to the corner, but Micro to get in front of him. Merely trying to get the flick. Mitso going to take it away from him. Glaze with the 50. And Ascension now seemingly having problems getting out of their defensive zone, it would look like here, Fishy.
Yeah, I've noticed Mirlius in particular doing a lot of slow plays coming out of his back zone. And while those aren't bad plays, it seems to be slowing down the pressure that Ascension's used to. They have had a lot more control of the ball, so it's pluses and minuses, I guess you can say. But I guess we'll just have to see how it pans out for Ascension as this game continues.
And a long ball from Micro right there, a little bit not fast though, so Jaegers was able to get back to it, but the Hellcats still controlling the pace of this match, in my opinion, as they seem to be spending a little bit more time in Ascension's defensive zone than Ascension is able to spend in theirs. Rockerman with the second touch off the back wall. Rockerman in the midfield trying to get a shot on, but it goes wide. Glaze gonna get a demo on Rockerman as Micro takes it off the corner, off the sidewall, 50s it through Merely, but Rockerman to clear it out. Mitso with the touch, popping it up. And Jaegers gonna try and continue the charge for Ascension. Glaze to take it away from him. Merely keeping it in. Merely to stick with it. A little bit awkward. Mitso and Micro both in the same area. Jaegers popping it up, but Glaze taking it away from him, passing it to Micro. Micro getting it past Merely, but immediately gets demoed. As we reach the halfway point in this game, we're seeing something sort of similar here, Fishy, from the last game, but I would say that I don't think that Ascension's going to be able to snowball this win.
It doesn't look like it with how Micro's been playing in the midfield. Seems like every time he gets the ball, he's beating a player and getting a bump or something, keeping the play in. You're really seeing that start to go Hellcats' way with the team all linking up together.
This is dangerous, and Rockerman's there to finish it off as the fake play comes out from Jaegers.
And Mitso, he got such a big ghost touch on that too. That's really unfortunate for Hellcats because they were starting to pick it up in this game and get some pressure of their own.
They really were, and hopefully that doesn't destroy their mental and they're able to keep it going, as I'm sure if they just keep putting shots on net, eventually Ascension will show some cracks in their defense and they'll be able to possibly tie it up, or who knows, even maybe take the lead and send this series into a game number 4 merely with a big clear to keep it out of Ascension's defensive zone. Merely up to Rockerman. Rockerman finds it and sends it down and into the back of the net. Ascension extending their lead 2-0.
And that demo off the ball, I didn't see who it was for Ascension, but they took away who would have been challenging that ball, which gave Rockerman so much time to place it into that net with the two goalies left with nothing to do.
And with only a minute 25 seconds left on the clock, this is not looking good for the Hellcats. You know that they are at least slightly demoralized. Even the players with the best mental at this point would be feeling somewhat defeated. But they seem to be sticking with it, seem to be trying their hardest. They only need 2 goals to tie it up. 60 seconds remaining, definitely possible. They just have to get back on the offensive push here. Glaze trying to do just that, but he gets blocked as he tries to clear it out, merely popping it in the midfield. Jaegers up for it, putting one on net, but Glaze gonna get back in time to send it away and to the side. Micro off his backboard, but Merely is still with it. This Ascension team is just suffocating the mess out of the Hellcats as Rockerman sets up a perfect shot merely to close it out, and I think that was the dagger in the heart, Fishy.
That really was, and it's so, I don't know how to say it, but this Hellcats team, they're always in the right place. Their rotations have been rock solid, but they just can't get the ball out of their half, it seems like, which is so demoralizing to play as. Because normally when you're making a mistake, it's a double commit or something, but not against this Ascension team.
No, sir. And Ascension absolutely dominating here tonight, merely trying to get a final double touch in there. It's not going to go. Rockerman getting in there too. Ascension not giving up anything. Rockerman to put one final on. Mitso trying to get in front of it. Rockerman not done. Puts it on net, but doesn't go in. Hits the ground. Ascension going to sweep the Hellcats here in our third and final match. And wow, what can I say? You love and hate to see it at the same time, Fishy. You love to see the game 5 for the content, but hey, sometimes teams just got to assert their dominance.
Yeah, and again, full credit out to the Hellcats for showing up when we needed them most. I know I wanted to watch this series no matter what, and they really glazing North and Mitso at the end, stepping up to even get a series going in the first place. Nothing but respect to those guys for showing up.
Most definitely. Hats off to that org in general, the aeronautic org filled with a bunch of great guys. As you can see, these guys stepping in for their team and not letting this go to forfeit, which is great. We could bring some action to you. Unfortunately, it was a sweep, but hey, that's okay. They'll bounce back and get things going next week. I'm sure Ascension's got to be feeling good, and congratulations to them coming off a win right there. It's going to get them that much closer to that number 1 seed in the Challenger League. And yeah, I mean, overall, Fishy, I feel like it was pretty good, all things considered. Like you said, the prospect players stepping up, and they didn't do terrible. Yeah, they got swept, but well, I mean, I guess in game 1 and game 2 they didn't do great. But game three, they did pretty good.
Yeah, and even Micro, he looked great the whole series, despite, like you said, losing some pretty tough ones. But Hellcats just have to remember, they're still in playoff spots, so if they just can continue this form out the rest of the season, they'll likely be in playoffs or play-ins, and who knows what happens from there.
Very true, very true. Hopefully, they won't have any roster issues the rest of their season, and they can regain, bounce back, get in them play-ins, possibly playoffs, and have a good run there, as they definitely deserve it. Micro been with been with Nemesis for a long time, putting a lot of work here, so you love to see him having a good time with a good team. But hey, again, congratulations to Ascension. Fishy, think that's going to wrap us up for the night here. That's our third and final match. It was a pleasure being back in the booth with you, my friend. It's been far too long.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure casting and playing in that last series too. I got a lot of action on stream tonight.
Most definitely. Yeah, that was a great series too. It's good to see Venganza boys popping off like that. I got a lot of love for the Victory org. And so that was great to see. Ladies and gentlemen, like I said, that's pretty much going to do us for tonight. If you are new here and you haven't seen us, we got a Discord. Come and join up. We're in the middle of the season, but sometimes we're not in the locked rosters yet. So sometimes places open up. Come over, prove your skills. Join up in the Discord. Get on a team. See what you're made of. There's like a lot of money. I think it's $1,500 that gets distributed all over. Across all 5 leagues. So get in while you can before our rosters lock up. Appreciate all the support from everybody coming out tonight. We'll be back Saturday night for our Saturday Night Rocket League special with 3 more banging matches for you. So we will see you then. Have a good night.